Body slam draws the shield and we see an aggressive switch into the mighty god Bidoof. The opponent answers with why not, and why not throw the shadow ball? Does the opponent respect the damage? Well, you're gonna have to watch the video to find out. So welcome back to the channel. If you're a returning subscriber, you might notice things look a little different around here. Huge shout out to KingGBL, a fellow content creator. I'm going to link his channel down below. He's done an incredible job making me a new logo and a new template. We are trying to tidy up the channel despite me only using my mobile phone, so bear with me. Videos will continue to improve. But today we have an incredible showcase from our resident Spice Lord Ty. He has got a double legacy Bidoof. Don't ask why, he did elite TM it. Is it any good? Well, we're about to find out. And in game one, we see the Shadow Kanto Ninetales mirror. The opponent say switches into Seal, and we answer with Bidoof. This mighty little godlike Pokemon does double resist the licks due to our normal type, and we tank the Icy Wind. No problem whatsoever. Ty, not wanting to debuff himself, goes for the Legacy Shadow Ball. Both Shadow Ball and Superpower are Legacy. You could actually get this from a GBL day. We actually had a Bidoof Cup. I think nobody played, but you can get it. So Ty actually invested in Elite TM to give it a double Legacy moveset. And we actually managed to win switch. The opponent comes in to a Drifloon, and holy smokes, they are going to have to respect the Shadow Ball. Ty, not wanting to get farmed down, aggressively switches out into Igglybuff. Despite us being a normal type, we're using Feint Attack as a quick move, so we've got a pretty good matchup against Drifloon. The opponent sends back out Vulpix. They commit the final shield. The opponent gets far too greedy. Igglybuff makes Body Slam number 2. Down goes Vulpix, and this game is absolutely over. The opponent is going to be forced to go for the non-stab Icy Winds as due to Igglybuff. I'm probably going to call it Igglytuff, like Wigglytuff numerous times in the video, is the same type in normal and fairy. Ty commits that final shield. We are going to make the wild charge. We bank it, look to catch on the Bidoof. The opponent forced to throw energy. They don't want to get resisted, tackled, farm down. The opponent throws the Icy Wind. We now send back out Igglybuff and we hit no bubbles, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle. We see Vulpix into everyone's favourite, basic bitch Pokemon Bronzor. The opponent save switches into Chinchou, and Ty, with no immediate response, is going to stay in. You can see that Chinchou is supposed to resist Ember, however Little Cup Pokemon don't really resist anything. We now send out Igglytuff. We do outpace to the Body Slam. Body Slam should be enough to knock out if it goes unshielded, which it does. Ty maintains alignment, back out comes Bronzor, but again Igglytuff doesn't have the worst matchup here, as we are hitting for super effective with our quick move, and Ty goes straight for the wild charge. The opponent shields it up and they get a nice hefty confusion farm down. Back out comes the Vulpix. Ty, with residual energy locked and loaded, goes straight for the Weatherball. Weatherball draws the final shield. Ty instantly commits his final Protect Shield as well. The opponent pivots out into Wooper, and things are looking really tricky, as this little Wooper is super spammy. Our Bidoof, using Tackle as a quick move, isn't generating energy all that well, but Ty overfarms, fires off the Superpower on CMP. Beautiful play from Ty, and he's going for an undercharge. This is a really big brain play from Ty. Not only has he dumped the Wooper's energy, he's lowered his own defense, but the Body Slam still doesn't KO. We get Mud Shot down. The opponent has only thrown 4 Mud Shots though, so we should survive the Body Slam. I think we're going to make the Weather Ball. This Bronzor's pretty thick though, and the question's going to be, does Weather Ball knock out? It's going to need to. So we're running out of HP, and it's a CMP. Ty, Vulpix falls short. Heartbreaking. GG's. Moving on to the next one. Speaking of thick Pokemon, we see another really thick boy. Vulpix into Why Not. Ty going straight for the stab Weather Ball. The opponent commits an early shield, and we see a pivot into Igglybuff. Despite Igglybuff being a normal type, due to our fairy sub-typing, we're only taking neutral from counters. The opponent sends out Seal. Do they know? My god, if Seal don't know about the wild charge coverage, they're about to find out. The opponent commits a shield. We have lowered our own defense, however, we do double resist the licks, so Ty can easily shield this up. We should be able to outpace to the next wild charge, and wild charge will absolutely be returning this Seal back to their Pokeball. Get wrecked. Back out comes the Why Not, looking for the farm down. Ty looks to pivot back into his Vulpix. I really like that play, not allowing Why Not to get too far ahead on energy. Ty shields up the Mirror Coat. The opponent continues to stay in. Ty over farming, fires off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball probably won't knock out this Pokemon, so thick. The opponent does survive, and they're going to make a move on minimal HP. It's going to be Bidoof in the zeros versus whatever's in the back. Come on, show us something we can Shadow Ball. Or Superpower, we send out Bidoof. It's Bronzor. I imagine 2 Shadow Balls will probably be enough to knock out Ty. Go straight for Shadow Ball. Number 1, we need this to do 50% of the HP, which it does. The opponent now going to fire off a charge move. That 5, this is potentially a payback. The opponent goes straight for the payback. Ty needs to make the Shadow Ball. We pivot out into why not. I'm not sure on that play as the opponent isn't at a charge move. They're now at the side shock. Ty goes for the Superpower. Superpower doesn't knock out, and the opponent is going to be able to confusion farm us all the way down. Brutal. Moving on to the next one. We see the Vulpix mirror once again. Both shadows. Ty goes for the body slam. It looks like we lose charge move priority. Ty not going to shield. We will survive. On minimal HP, Ty going to return fire with his own body slam. The shield emphasis now on the opponent. They commit their shield, and we see the pivot into the mighty Bidoof. The opponent answer our Bidoof safe switch with why not, but does this why not respect our legacy Shadow Ball? They do not, and it lands for huge damage. The opponent now gonna dump energy. I wouldn't really shield Bidoof. Ty also agrees. Mirror Coat doesn't take us out. One more counter gets the job done. We now come in to Igglybuff. Are we gonna farm all the way down? I think that is the correct play. Ty gonna shield once, farm all the way down, and then hopefully we can start YOLOing nukes at something. Ty gets a full farm down, and we're absolutely loaded. We know Vulpix is fairly healthy, and they do have residual energy, so Ty going straight for a body slam, looking to pressure that final shield or secure the knockout. The opponent does shield Ty now, over farming. The feint attack will be knocking out Vulpix. We've got minimal HP. We need to be able to nuke whatever is in the back. And what the heck is that? Is that a Blitzel? Blitzel I've never seen in the little cup, and holy crap, it isn't very bulky. Ty makes body slam number 2, and that is definitely going to knock out Blitzel. Apparently about as bulky as the Shadow Mareep I was running yesterday. Moving on to the next one. We need Shadow Vulpix into Bronzor. You'd think this is a good matchup. However, Bronzor's such a busted Pokemon. Their huge stat product makes this pretty neutral. The opponent shields it up, and you can see the confusion damage is outpacing our Ember damage. Niantic, please rebalance this stupid little coin. Ty now over farming, gonna fire off the Weather Ball just as they get the energy for the next side shock. The opponent commits that final shield, and we see a beautiful switch into Igglybuff, looking to tank the damage. The opponent continues to stay in. Ty is going to be able to feint attack farm them all the way down. What does the opponent come in with? Whatever it comes in is going to get nuked, and holy crap, they send out Seal. Seal not going to appreciate this Wild Charge. Wild Charge, a pretty good move. It nukes the Seal. Holy crap, that was a lot of damage. The opponent sends out Skunky, and this is going to be game over. We can send out Bidoof. We just got to make any charge move. Both our charge moves are resisted. You can see Ty actually running a completely different Bidoof. This Bidoof isn't Legacy, so if you want to run it in this cup and don't have any Elite TMs, you can run Crunch and Grass Knot. Grass Knot is resisted, but obviously going to knock out the Shadow Skunk. Moving on to the next one. We see the Battle of Spice. Ty repping the Shadow Kanto 9000, this absolute Spice Lord repping this really, really spicy Pokemon called Bronzor. If you've played this cup, you probably wouldn't have seen it. It's such a spicy pick. I'm kidding. Ty lands the Weather Ball. He is going to respect a potential payback, and the opponent full sends the payback. They send out Seal. Usually a pretty good safe switch. However, we've got Bidoof. Ty not going to shield up the Icy Wind. We take a little screenshot as Ty is absolutely trolling. Icy Wind did lower our attack, but we've still can hit for huge super effective damage with the Grass Knot. Grass Knot still near one-shots. We tackle farm down. The opponent sends out Dino. This Pokemon, super annoying. We've got the perfect response in the back. Ty makes one final crunch. The opponent starts to commit shields. Dino's been the absolute bane of my life, but look at these Dragon Breaths doing absolutely nothing to Igglybuff. The opponent can only go for body slams. The opponent actually goes for the not very effective crunch. That actually did a lot more than I was expecting. The opponent looks for the combo play. Snipe with Bronzor. Ty instantly pivoted back into his Vulpix. We fire off the body slam, and that is all she wrote. Very, very nicely done. The Dream Lead in the next battle. The opponent safe switches into their trusty Seal, and again Bidoof's there looking to answer it. Icy Wind, Aqua Tail, absolutely nothing is going to really hurt our Bidoof. The opponent goes for the Icy Wind. We saw in the last battle, Icy Wind not going to save him from the wrath of Bidoof. We fire off the Grass Knot, near one-shots. We tackle farm all the way down. If Sandshrew does return, I highly doubt they can Powder Snow us down as we're pretty thick. The opponent looks like they are going for that play, and as a consequence, they're going to have to eat this Crunch. Crunch draws a protection. I'm not really sure on this play from the opponent, as if they want to get off some energy, they're going to have to eat a Shadow Ember, and that is going to do a lot. Ty, still with 2 shields, going to shield a Night Slash. The opponent needs to get out of there. They send out Wooper, and we've got Igglybuff waiting to answer him. The opponent is going to fire off a Body Slam. Igglybuff, despite being XL, not looking all that thick. Ty over farms, fires off the Body Slam, looking to pressure the final shield off the opponent. The opponent lets it go, and I think at this stage, just save your shield. For Vulpix, that's exactly what he's going to do. The opponent is going to get a hefty Mud Shot farm down, do 2 Embers knockout. They actually don't. But we know Sandshrew can't one-shot us. This is an easy shield for Ty. The opponent looking to get towards the back-to-back Night Slashes, even if they've got the energy for it. They're going to get taken out by that Ember, and we're going to take another impressive dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next one. Vulpix into Duckler, absolutely dreadful. We pivot out into Igglybuff. This is only a Bubble Beam, but Ty choosing to shield it up, looking to keep his Igglybuff really healthy. The opponent now answers with Why Not, and this is where the debuff's going to be really annoying, as Why Not's really fixed. These Body Slams won't do that much, but the opponent chooses to shield, which is a pretty interesting play. I don't know why he'd shield the bulkiest mon when we're debuffed, but it is what it is. Ty makes 1 more Body Slam. If the opponent looks to farm us all the way down, they are committing. We're going to make a Wild Charge. Wild Charge has been debuffed, and unfortunately just doesn't do enough damage. The opponent now absolutely loaded. Ty sends out Bidoof to absorb some energy. Mirror Coat doesn't do a lot. We now see the aggressive pivot into Vulpix, looking to snipe. As they farmed us all the way down, they make 1 final Mirror Coat. Ty now Embers down. The Dockler is going to return. It's going to be dreadful if they manage to farm us all the way down. Ty makes the first Body Slam. Hopefully the opponent gets scared, fires off some energy. The opponent does dump energy. I imagine we're going to have to put it all on the mighty godlike Pokemon. That's exactly what Ty does. In comes Bidoof. Can we tackle down before the Bubble Beam? The opponent sends out Seal, and holy smokes, are they going to respect the Grass Knot? We need them to no shield. The opponent does no shield. We've got a win con. I believe the opponent's 1 away from a Bubble Beam. Ty can easily shield this up. We can then tackle Farman down, and we just need to tackle down the Ducklet before they make a Brave Bird. Who was worried? Bidoof carries the team to another impressive dub. Moving on to the next one. It looks like we've changed leads, and it looks like the algorithm is confirmed, as the opponent is running Dupider with Bug Bite as a fast move, which is something Vulpix does resist. However, I take that back. The opponent showed no respect for the Wild Charge. They got absolutely nuked. Ty reset his debuff by pivoting into Bidoof, and the opponent's got a Charmander. I've never seen Charmander in the Little Cup, and this is probably why it gets tackled farmed all the way down. The opponent's final Pokemon isn't a Alolan Vulpix, and this game is so over. The opponent just doesn't know it yet. Bidoof going on an absolute rampage though. Our Vulpix looking to get at his cousin, but Bidoof manages to get both Protect Shields. Ty now sends out Igglybuff just to force the opponent to throw. Weather Ball should be knocking us out. Igglybuff does go down, and it's going to be an Ember fast move beatdown to the finish. Ty doesn't need to shield anything. The opponent goes for the Dark Pulse. We shrug it off. We Ember down, and that is going to be all she wrote. Very, very nicely done. Huge shout out to my boy Ty, the king of entertainment and an absolute spice lord. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you'd like your battles featured on the channel like Ty had. Link to my battle submission form is down below. I'd like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.